I tested 50 kitchen sinks, and only 5 of them were actually worth your money. The other 45 fail in a way you don't even want to notice and wouldn't be able to ignore in 1 year. I've installed every kind of kitchen sink there is across more than 100 projects. And your sink is the single most used thing in the entire kitchen. You touch it more than the stove, more than the fridge, more than the counter. Pick the wrong one if you've got a sink that drums like a trash can every time you set a pot down. Traps gunk in spots you can't reach with any kind of dropped pan. So today, I'm gonna give you exact 4-point test I run on every sink, the 5 categories that actually pass with real brands worth buying. And at the end, the 5 sinks to avoid completely. Come on. The first test, 4 things, and most sinks fail at least one of them. 1, gauge. That's the thickness of the steel, and it runs backwards. The lower the number, the thicker the metal. Anything 18 gauge or higher is consumer grade and too thin. You want 16 or lower. That's it. 2, sound deadening. A real sink has a full sprayed undercoat across the entire underside that kills noise. A cheap one? Well, a couple of stick-on rubber pads slapped on the bottom and you'll hear the difference every time you drop a spoon in it. You want the drain offset to the back of the basin, not dead center. A rear drain keeps the plumbing tucked against the back wall, which leaves you the real usable storage in the cabinet underneath instead of tangled pipes right in the middle of everything. And number 4, survivability. How it actually looks and works after 10 years of real use. Most sinks fail at least one of these 4. These 5, well, they pass all of them. Sink number 1, a 16 gauge single bowl stainless workstation sink. Undermount. For most kitchens, this is the one I recommend more than any other. Single bowl is the key. One big basin gives you the most usable room for stuff you actually do. Filling a big pot, washing a sheet pan, soaking a roasting rack. And the workstation part means that there's a ledge matched right against the rim, so cutting boards, drying racks, and colanders slide across the top of the basin. Your sink becomes a second prep station. The 16 gauge steel is what makes it feel expensive. It doesn't drum when you drop a pan in it, and it doesn't dent, and it doesn't buzz the disposal when it's turning on and vibrating all the way up. The real brands here are Kraus Core, Ruvati Roma, Create Good, and Bakary Mestre. What you want to steer clear of is the Amazon-only no-name versions because they look identical in photos and they feel like a tin can the second you touch it in person. The price range for these is $400 to $900, and it's the single most recommended sink on the entire list. Sink number 2 is a fire clay farmhouse sink. The apron front kind. This is the design statement that's less about 100 years. Real fire clay is clay fired at 2000 degrees, glazed, and then fired again. What you end up with is basically a piece of ceramic armor. Knives, pots, hot pans, bleach, acid, none of it marks a true fire clay sink. The trap that is in the market right now is flooded with fire clay looking sinks that are actually cast iron, plain ceramic, and low fired pottery. And those chip and stain, promise you. The real ones are Shaw's, White House, Kohler Whitehaven, and a few others. But you gotta stick to these real brands. A genuine fire clay sink shows up weighing 80 to 130 pounds out of the box. Trust me, the price of these is $700 to $2,500, and you'll know because what you're getting will feel different. This sink will outlive your kitchen. Sink number 3, a composite granite undermount, the kind most people know as Silgranite. This is the underrated value pick on the list. A composite sink is about 80% crushed granite mixed with an acrylic resin and pressed into shape. And the result gets almost everything right. It doesn't scratch, doesn't drum, it doesn't show water spots, and it doesn't hold onto dark stains like coffee and red wine. It also reads more like real stone than any of the stone, quartz, and solid knockoffs that are out there. The Blanco Silgranite is the category leader. They've been making the same formula for 35 years, and Hauser and El Clay both make composite lines worth a look. It comes in matte black, white, gray, and earth tones, and the black in particular hides absolutely everything. Water spots, everything. The price is only $300 to $700. I feel it's the right call when your design wants a non-metal sink or just a normal budget. So real quick, since you're clearly the type who researches before you buy, my free renovation playbook has a full, no regret fixture list in it, sinks, faucets, exact specs to ask for, links in the description. That's it. Now, sink number 4, a solid copper prep or bar sink. This one is a specialty pick for a kitchen that has a second sink. Hand-hammered solid copper develops a living patina that actually gets better the longer you own it. The copper is naturally antimicrobial, measured property, not a marketing line. Now, your main kitchen sink should still be stainless or fire clay or whatever you're picking for your kitchen function. But the secondary sink, the island prep sink, the bar sink, the one in the butler's pantry, that's where the copper earns its spot because, well, it's a statement piece in a low traffic spot. The real brands like Native Trails, Syncology, Premier Copper, these are great. And you have to check one thing. You want solid copper, 14 or 16 gauge, not copper finish sink, which is a thin piece of metal with copper plating on it. The plating wears through in about a year. Solid copper lasts forever. Now the price for these, $400 to $1,500. Sink number 5, a custom fabricated stainless steel from a metal shop. This is the ultra high-end pick. In a real luxury kitchen, the best answer is often a stainless sink built to the exact dimension of your cabinet run, in whatever gauge you want, usually 14 or even 12. You can put the drain exactly where you want it. The corner radius, it can be whatever you want. The integrated drain boards, if you want, and this runs, well, probably 4 times higher than a standard production cost, but you get something that no factory line can give you. A sink sized for your kitchen instead of a kitchen sized around your sink. The shops that do it are places that manufacture and regional fabricators, possibly local metalwork companies. Now, these could run you anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000. But if you're spending $200,000 on your kitchen, it's not that big of a deal. Now, if you want to spend that kind of money and you're going to have that kind of custom work, you're obviously probably doing custom cabinetry anyways. It's definitely the luxury pick. Now, before I go, 5 fast rules on what to avoid no matter what. 1, anything 18 gauge or higher in stainless because it's gonna sound like crap and it's gonna dent. 2, top mounted drop-in sinks. Does anybody even do that anymore? Number 3, the double bowl, 50-50 split because neither bowl is big enough for anything. Number 4, composite sinks that aren't real. Okay? They're just a cheap knockoff. And 5, any brand that doesn't exist 5 years ago because the warranty won't exist 5 years from now either. So that's it, guys. That's my list. These are my top 5 and the only ones I'd put my name on. Get one of these and you'll never think about your sink again, which is the whole point. Now, my money is on the workstation sink for most of you, but I want to hear. Tell me in the comments which sink is in your kitchen right now and whether you'd buy it again, or which sink would you absolutely love in your new renovated kitchen if you were doing it right now. I'm Blake, and as always, thank you for watching Built by Becker.